Welcome to TradeTheNBI.com. This is Sean's report is for the 15th. What you can see is pretty much what you would call just inside day there where we finished directly at the 23%. Bit of a move above, bit of a move below. This is problematic with the elevated steel. It makes it difficult to sustain anything, which is what we were talking about before. Coupled that with the weak shakeout. She got a little bit of an improvement though. Before we were at minus 17 there. Actually, it was minus 18, then we're now down to 17. So slight improvement if things sustain themselves as they are right now for today. But overall, you've just got a situation where you've got improvement in midterm buyers, short-term buyers also lifting things up, but they don't have much left just because it's going to move about, and that will be a move from, if you move above the plus 13, it's actually the same as moving from negative 13. So it's still going to be a weak scenario. The fact that you've got orange resetting underneath, it sets the stage. They're just building. It takes a little bit of time to get what you need in order to move enough volume to start another upswing, and then probably wait until towards the actual inauguration and that, and because who knows what other monkey wrenches Biden's going to throw into it. Not that it really matters at this point. It's sort of like, are we done yet? NQ standpoint holding up a little bit better, but relatively they're pretty close now, at least from a Morganacci standpoint. Even if there's a slight advantage there for the Nasdaq, it's still expressing a bit weaker with the NBI White leading, even though they're both kind of cascading lower. You still have Magenta over, so that's enough to keep supports and stuff from cascading lower. Treasuries, of course, continue to improve their yield. There's going to be a continued drain on the market. Oil faded back a little bit, but it's not going to change the net outcome at this particular stage. Oil doesn't look like they're going to be filled with any mass supply real quick, and they're happy with that. It's going to drive price definitely or wide. Of course, that was a huge jump for the. This is a hilarious thing about it is they look for any positive news and dip in oil. Oh, it's the savior to the euro. Yeah, okay, keep working with that, guys. And gold get a little bit of a pop, and again, when the money moves back into the market and there's no trauma, and then you get your crypto moves along with it. It's pretty consistent seeing that. Actually, I even saw that ETH is going to be moving to, was it El Salvador as their base? Or someone was talking about a move like that. It's interesting. That may be the necessary is finding supportive government somewhere that will let you do what you've been doing without interference or cross attack. And I guess that's always a tough one when you're dealing in an alternative currency, which basically is set to undermine the dollar in every aspect. And anyone who doesn't think that that's what it's for is missing the point, and why the U.S. can't allow it to happen without controlling it. So there's the long and the short of it in that. Pretty much early selling all the way on from the beginning, and then of course the turnaround move, the big move. We started with the first set of turnaround here, and if you look at the same thing from even a 5K standpoint, that dip of orange below the 7.5 signals the beginning of a little bit of a turnaround. Of course, you didn't have a reset, but the move above negative 13.5 there is like it coming from the bottom, so that was enough to give it a little jolt, but usually those don't last very long. They can, though. I mean, you can go across for quite a few bars and give yourself quite a jolt from that. So it has the potential to give you a spring. It's just a little bit tougher. But then as we created the next one, this one was a deep move below red. So you ended up with lower price, higher red DOC, divergence, and what a shock. There you go. And it already corresponded with orange, magenta taking over your white on NBI, so it was all congruent from that standpoint. And then they just pulled the rug out from underneath. Look at how beautiful that DOC spread right there. Pretty straightforward, clean, and coming all the way back down to the end of it was right when the orange broke below the 7.5. Paused for a little bit there, and then boom, we did the next same run. So pretty straightforward. And it's interesting when you look at it. We see this DOC spread that took place here. You didn't have the corresponding uh, dip until way later. Uh, so just little things. Well, as always, though, anything relevant, I will update you on the Skype chat. Have a good one. Trade well.